Hello, everybody, and welcome back yet again to the Springtime Mania Free-For-All Tournament 3rd edition. We got more round of 16 action coming in with Walter Toro versus Pope Gadget. Unfortunately, we do not have two commentators right now. It is only going to be me for this match. I am the Toaster, and hopefully we're going to have some fun here. Pope Gadget being knocked down to the losers bracket a little bit earlier than most people expected him to. Looking at this warm-up, I know this is Pope Gadget's warm-up since he wanted this to be streamed in his previous match, but Ren Fangirl was unable to download it. But it sure did look interesting for what I saw, which was just lots of dumpy jump troll streams. Not even jump trollable, I don't think, but... Whoa, that's a nice long note. All right, and there goes the first warm-up. We just have one more to get through. It's going to be Walter Toro's, and from what I've heard, this is going to be a pretty interesting one. And looks like we got some Camellia coming in. King of Lions Jungle Warfare SV edition. And yes, I have been confirmed that this is Walter Toro's warm-up. And I've also been told it's an actual warm-up. Oh geez, this is a pretty long song. Nice background. We got some anime. I love anime. I have a weird feeling that this is an evening map just from the song choice. Though those SVs don't look clean like most evening SVs would. So maybe they do, I don't know. Let me check. Ah, looks like this was a map by a guy named Edo, so not evening. Pretty, I suppose, but inconsistent to say the least. Walter definitely having a bit more practice on this map than Poke Gadget, but that was pretty much to be expected since this is Walter's warm-up. Oh, these SVs. This looks so awkward. Whoa! Okay. No warning for that one. Those are some pretty fascinating patterns. I don't know if I like this chart very much. Only halfway done now. Walter Toro with almost 100,000 points in a lead. Got some inverse coming in. Nice. I don't. These are some very strange LM patterns. But hope not. Still not having the best of times. Probably related to the SVs from the beginning, which would explain most of his. Oh, I don't like those SVs. Poke Gadget gonna fail, or is he gonna not? It looks like they're up there. Ooh. I actually don't know if he failed before the end, but guess it really doesn't matter. That is going to be the end of the second warm-up, and we will be getting into the rolls. Looks like Poke Gadget's already going. Gets a 70 versus Walter Toro's 37, which means Walter Toro will get first ban, and Poke Gadget will get second ban and first pick. I expect Walter to ban. Okay, he got a chance to say it. Looks like he's going to Survivor Days. And Poke Gadget bans the Halogen one. And it looks like Poke Gadget's first pick is going to be Nigro. Not really unexpected from his side, going with something that's basically just, you know, speed tech based, something that Walter Toro is going to probably choke on a lot. And I don't doubt that Poke Gadget's more than skilled enough to hold on to this map very well. should be getting into this map. Very first map out of a possible 9 for this round of 16 match. And this is a loser's bracket match, which means that whoever loses this match will be knocked out of the tournament. And here we go. First pick, Nigro. We're going to see if this ends up paying off well for Poke Gadget, and if my assumptions about why he picked it are correct, him being likely very strong on this, with Walter Toro probably not being particularly strong. So right out of the gate, there isn't too much of a difference between the two players, though. 200 drop from Walter Toro right at the beginning, with Poke Gadget recovering his accuracy a bit. Does give him a pretty solid 3,000 point lead right out the gate. Walter Toro already finding a drop in combo, giving Poke Gadget even larger of a lead. And here we go, back into the fray. Almost a percent of difference between the two. Ooh, and Poke Gadget finds a combo break. It's going to give Walter Toro at least a small chance to come back in the match, but with that accuracy deficit, it does not seem like it's going to give him... The score gap doesn't seem like it's going to decrease at this point. And with only a quarter of the map left, it would require more drops than that for Walter Toro to come back in this map. And there it goes. First point will be in Poke Gadget's favor, bringing it 1-0. But onto Walter Toro's pick, I would assume that this is going to be the Quill SV chart. Given what Walter Toro enjoys playing and tends to pick in his matches, plus his SV skill is second to none. So if anything else comes out from him, I'd really be surprised. And he does go with Spices, the Quill SV map, but that is the only SV map left in the pool. So if Walter is able to take this point, it's hard to see him taking a lot of other points out, given that all the SV picks will have been gone. All right, and here we go into pick number 2. We'll get to see if Poke Gadget put enough practice into this map to be competitive against Walter Toro, and if Walter Toro is just going to outclass Poke Gadget on this SV choice regardless. Okay, it looks like he didn't really put a whole lot of practice into this map, so it seems like Walter Toro's at a pretty major advantage already. Seems like even so early on, I don't see much of a chance for Poke to come back in this. Still below the S rank and continuing to drop combo is Poke Edge. It looks like he did not put any practice into this map, but that is just going to be basically 1 point going over to Walter Toro. I'd assume he's pretty confident in the rest of the choices, or just didn't want to practice the SV, since he was going to be at Insomnia, I believe, anyways. Actually, Poke Edge is now dropping below the A rank, but with this pretty SV light section, he might be able to bring it back up, but the ending patterns might prove difficult for him to keep that A rank now. And he does keep the A, but that is going to be the first point for Walter Toro in this match, bringing it 1-1 back to Poke Gadget's pick. But now that we've gotten commentator who is joining, and that is going to be Ela, aka
Hello.
Stupid Man.
Yeah,
hello, how's it going?
A bit late, but we're good now. So yeah, going pretty well. And actually, I really shouldn't have missed this match. I don't know. I thought this would be a pretty good one. I mean, it's already what 1-1 now. So I mean, this could be going somewhere.
Poke trying to pick Nigro the second time. Nice.
Oh, nice.
But he's gonna go with Stereo Saiyan.
You're going to love this. Trust me. What you're seeing now is
not really a surprising pick at all. Similar to his first one, which was Nigro. I mean, this is another map where I think Walter Toro has a lot of opportunities to just break combo, given that he just might not have the speed to keep up with the streams for the entire duration of them. Whereas Poke Edge, being, Tachyon level, pretty much has 250 and 290 streams down pat.
Yeah. And especially knowing Pope, like, he's definitely going to have it, at the very least, good accuracy on this team. Not so sure how Walter's going to be faring on this, though, so I would assume Pope should be okay.
Yeah, I think even if Walter Toro is able to keep up with the streams in terms of just comboing through them, I think he's going to have pretty major accuracy issues given how Nigro went.
Yeah.
You're going to love this. Trust me. What you're seeing now is my normal state. This is a Super Saiyan. And this is what is known as a Super Saiyan that has ascended past a Super Saiyan.
Through these easier patterns of the star, looks like Walter Toro tends to have a better accuracy for the time being. Actually, is that a 200 drive?
Yeah, that was pretty odd. But
I don't think the 200.
Another one.
Another one.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe it'll fix itself up after the single streams here. Who knows?
Oh, that's another 200 from Pope.
Yeah, that's
he's just continuing to drop them. His offset might be wrong, or he's just having the effects of being at a convention right now. But going into these streams, I expect the accuracies to at least line back up between each other.
Since he's at a convention, I'm wondering, maybe it's someone else playing from the entire time,
Well, I mean, he's also streaming himself playing, so...
Okay.
But as I said, once the streams kicked in, Walter's accuracy dropped straight down with...
Oh, Walter missing!
Yeah.
Okay.
Not having the accuracy advantage and combo advantage.
Yeah, Pope for a little while there actually traded out a 200 with Walter. I thought that they'd maybe be going back and forth, but Walter's missed here, just bringing his score way down, and his accuracy is now past the 99% mark.
Now with about 15,000 points of lead in this second break, with the ending stream left, I don't really expect Walter to do any better, given that they're the same sorts of patterns, just faster. So, whoa, Pope, okay.
Alright, well, I don't think that's going to be too bad if he can maintain his comboing on the single streams, which, I mean, he's done once already, so... hopefully here he'll be able to show up anyways. We'll see. He's got still a pretty decisive lead. I would assume Walter's going to maybe even increase that gap a bit by dropping a couple 200s here, and I mean, he's already doing that.
Yeah, and Pope's accuracy only increasing now, with Walter having a huge rush right there, down to 98.6, and a combo break right at the end. This is going to seal the deal for Pope to take his second point in the match.
Yeah, that's exactly what Pope needed to happen to really maintain his lead there. So, pretty convincing win there, at least, just over a 30,000 point margin of difference. So, yeah, this is I'm guessing in terms of speedy technicality, Pope would at least have a inherent advantage.
Yeah, for sure. But Walter Toro responded the really awkward release-based LN map. This one is a bit weird to say, like, who I exactly think is going to take it, given that Poke Gadget's performance on line notes through this tournament hasn't been the strongest in general. And I mean, releases like this could result in anything happening from a lot of the players, especially like the LN rolls. Just, you could drop 5 200s in one of those without even like playing it incorrectly.
Yeah, I guess I am kind of interested to see who's going to take this in, because I'm almost always I'd assume that Pope would be the one taking the point here, but I'm not sure if Walter's like really confident on this, which I guess is a possibility here. Then maybe he'll like really show good performance on the release section, but I don't know. It seems like every match I've watched so far, like both players have always struggled to really hit that correctly.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it might be something like Walter Toro almost playing for drops from Pope Gadget. And
oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That works.
Oh, but that accuracy drop on the roll does decrease that accuracy lead that Walter had, though still notable that there's about 0.5% of difference between the two players.
Man, that was really perfect timing, if anything, on the drop. But
I'm really good at that.
apparently.
I've been told. But we are about to enter the really weird release section, which usually wouldn't result in drops more than it would just accuracy problems like Poke Gadget is experiencing right now.
It seems like he's giving Pope a lot more problems than Walter, if anything. He already got, I think, a 100 and maybe even a 50 in there. Yeah, there's a 50 drop, too. That's... oh, man. Yeah, the score gap is just so large now.
And, I mean, this next section is just a repeat of this start, so I don't really expect anything catastrophic to happen on Walter's end. So this would end up going in Walter's favor, especially with that last miss from Pope.
And that's going to be it for that map. 950 out from Walter compared to Pope's 888. 2-2 now. So, I mean, this is... I mean, it's pretty even so far. I'm not sure if the rest of the maps are going to change that. Because I think with this, at least like the hardest LN map was picked. So I'm sure all the other LN choices are going to be a lot more easygoing on Pope.
Yeah, I mean, Imaginary Flight or Imagine Flight or whatever is pretty tough just from a release standpoint, but does have some pretty tricky jacks. Like, I don't know really how to call it, but jacks while holding down LNs.
Yeah. Which
can be really hard for people without a proper amount of finger independence. And I don't know if Walter's going to be able to handle those properly, whereas Pope, I feel, should have at least some amount of handle on them. But even with that pick there, the last LN map open after that is Shara, and that almost certainly favors Pope just because it's got a lot of just bursty, tough, rigid mini-jag type patterns, which ultimately give Walter Toro chances to drop a lot throughout the map, and just give Pope a lead in general.
Yeah, I mean, Pope even going to Plastic Mind here. I think Shara actually, in particular, is like, it's sort of an LN pick that can favor actually a couple Rice players that are actually just fairly decent all-rounders. So I mean, Pope picking into Plastic Mind here, I guess, kind of shows that right now his skill sets are at least more leading towards Rice, if anything. So I think right now, if Walter's next pick, anyways, probably would be Imaginary Flight.
Yeah, that's what I'd expect out of him as well. Well, it's the least physically demanding out of the 10 picks remaining. And I don't think Walter wants to pick into any Rice-based maps against Pope, given how these maps have been going.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. I mean, Walter already, just at 200 there is already putting him at an actual disadvantage over Pope. About a 3,000 point difference now from the first dense section, really probably the densest part of the chart. Actually, another 200 from Walter in a fairly easier section of the song.
Back into this dense hand / jump stream with jump trills intertwined between the patterns. Looks like Walter's holding up a bit better than he was in the first section, though. Going into the latter part of this stream, does seem he's dropping a little bit of accuracy, but still holding on to that accuracy, or at least keeping himself at a distance where a drop definitely could do something to this score gap right now.
Yeah, I think it definitely could, although Walter actually, that's a lot of 200s. I mean, it's about, scores is, I guess, just bordering on 10,000 here. So, I mean, a miss, I think it would definitely bring it very close. I'm not sure if it would decide it or not, but it's kind of hard to tell right now. Although Pope's kind of shooting out 200.
It's getting close enough to the end at this point, too, that Pope might not even be losing all of the combo advantage from a drop. Which would just mean favor Pope in any situation regardless.
Oh, Walter's breaking a lot at the end. I saw a lot of 100s coming out, so it's, I guess, inevitable that he break eventually. He's breaking again, too.
But that is going to be Poke Gadget's third point. Back to Walter Toro's choice, and I don't see anything else coming out from Walter other than Imagined Flight.
Yeah, and even if Walter takes that last point, or sorry, the last 2 points he needs to take against Pope to get the win here is going to be very, very hard.
Or he goes with Shara first. Interesting choice. I assume that this is because he either feels uncomfortable with the types of LN play that Imagined Flight brings, or thinks that he can handle the bursts and mini-jacks just fine and is playing for breaks from Pope.
I guess, or maybe he's not comfortable on Imagined Flight, which, I mean, I guess is understandable, but I don't know. Maybe Shara is like, feels like a safer pick for Walter, but I'm not entirely sure. I guess out of all the picks, if it wasn't Imagined Flight, then Shara is probably the next best one. But yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it really just comes down to whether Pope's able to hold through the LNs and still keep himself alive through the burst, because I'm sure he can handle the burst just fine, but intertwining those with the LNs can be pretty demanding, especially if you're not particularly comfortable with LNs. Right out the gate, there's about a 0.6% difference in accuracy between the two players, only increasing in favor of Walter Toro. But we really haven't seen the major technical portions of the map quite yet, so there's still a lot to see.
And so far, Walter actually does have a fairly decent lead. I mean, about 4,000 points. I guess given that it's an LN chart, that's not too big, but still, like it's good to have that kind of lead coming into the technical section. That's a bit of a rush there. That's going to bring the lead right back to Poke Gadget, I think.
Their accuracies are actually tied right now, which is interesting. Though Walter Toro with the accuracy drop right there does even them out a little bit, but they're just trading back and forth right now. It really comes down to this little bursty section coming up right here. And Walter getting major accuracy drops on that section.
Exactly.
Unless there are some major mishaps from Pope in this long note section, I don't see it going back to Walter Toro at this point. And there was not enough of an accuracy drop on Poke Gadget's side. It looks like that's going to be the 4th point in his favor. Match point for him, back to his own pick.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like these scores are actually fairly close, minus the 8-100s from Walter's side, but still, I'm pretty sure those came for just a bit of just some rushing there, especially on those bursts towards, I guess, the end. But I guess pretty decent fight put up by Walter there. I can't say I wasn't expecting Pope to take the point, so still 4-2. Pope's got the pick now, so I guess
there's 365 the long tech map, but then there's also the Jack map, Virus V.
Yeah, Virus V. There's what's Soriro Days band?
Yeah, so there's those two maps I mentioned, and then Imagine Flight. But he's going with 365 United. And going into this map, I feel like Walter Toro should be able to handle at least most of the bursts and mini jack type patterns, but I don't know if his accuracy is going to hold up strong enough to, take on Pope on a map like this.
I mean, probably not. Especially, I mean, we saw on the map earlier with Walter, his kind of drops on the burst and maybe a bit of rushing as well. I don't know if that's going to really be prevalent in this map too, but there's definitely potential for that.
I mean, Walter's already having major accuracy issues just through this opening section, dropping below 99 for a short time, building it up a little bit, but still not having too good of a time right now. Poke Gadget, on the other hand, holding on really strong in comparison.
Yeah, and Walter already dropped below 99, and I mean, he's still dropping. There's really, as soon as he's about to build it up, he drops like a 200 or so, and then he just brings it right back down. Almost a quarter of the way into this map, and Pope's got a pretty big lead so far. I think up just by about 4,000 points. Considering the length of this map, that's probably gonna grow over time.
Yeah, and Walter Toro's accuracy is only decreasing at this point. Now at below 98.8 and still dropping. Going into this first break section, more than a % lead of accuracy in favor of Pope right now.
15,000 now for the score difference, so really just Pope's got a lot of breathing room here.
Yeah, at this point, even a couple drops might not shift the lead over into Walter's favor. I think it would have to be coupled with major accuracy drops on Pope Gadget's side, or for that lead to change, especially with how many notes are in the map and how easy it is to just get back up to that 400 combo.
Actually, I think after this break section, it looks like the score gap's even pushed itself up to just under 20,000 now, so it's actually, gotten even bigger.
Yeah, that accuracy bonus definitely favoring Pope Gadget right now. And with all these relatively easy patterns, that's just going to, extend that lead even further.
But yeah, I'm not seeing much here that would give Walter the lead here.
Coming in the final stretches of the map, Walter Toro kind of bringing his accuracy up, but it's not enough to challenge Pope Gadget's 99.5. And there's a combo break right at the end for Walter Toro.
And another one trade out just by Pope, so not too bad for Walter, although still, it's definitely not going to help at all. You can't really take advantage of anything in this case, and the score difference now is going to be 35,000, I believe.
Yep, and that's going to be the end of that map, and the end of the match, bringing it 5-2 in Pope Gadget's favor, meaning that Pope Gadget will be moving on in the losers bracket to quarterfinals for next weekend, whereas Walter Toro will be unfortunately knocked out of the tournament.
Yeah, actually, this is kind of surprising to me. I didn't expect these two players to be meeting the losers bracket, if anything, or at least this early into the tournament. But regardless, that's what happened, and that's. I mean, Walter being eliminated from the tournament now, so Pope plays, let's see. I would assume the loser, or no, he plays a father, A.M. Veskia, 1996. That's going to be a interesting matchup, I think. So, that all being said, I think we have another match prepared in 20 minutes. Need to double check that, but I think that's what's going on right now. Yeah, 20 minutes. So we will be back then. Stay tuned. I think we're taking a break. So yeah, we'll be back then. See you guys around.